Hi, Scott Lackman from 4510 TV. Having a quick interview this morning with our commercial agent Warwick Peters, and we've also got Edward from Shaw Financial Services. The reason for the quick interview this morning is we just want to have a quick snapshot of, from a commercial agent's point of view and a financier's point of view, of how we see the commercial activity happening in the Moreton Bay region. So over to you first, Warwick. Give us a bit of an update of where the commercial real estate is at in the Moreton Bay region at the moment.
Thanks, Scott. The commercial activity seems to have picked up. I think it could be a restoring of confidence coming back into the market. Since the GFC, there's been a decline, a steady decline that's been going on and on and on. And just in the last 3 to 4 months, we've seen a resurgence of interest, and it has a lot to do with obviously borrowing rates and obviously loan rates, and the yield on these properties is starting to look quite high in comparison to fixed interest rates of 5 years at 6%. Or below, and we've got yields of 8.5% to 9% on the properties they're acquiring. So interest is coming back into the marketplace, and that will be sustained, I think, right through with the federal election coming into play. We then get a settling of what's going to happen with the Australian economic environment, whether it's Liberal or whether it's Labor. It doesn't matter. People will then accept that the market's going to continue in that particular vein. They know where they stand. So generally speaking, a very good, conducive environment to investment and to future upturn.
And obviously having a relationship with Shaw Financial, which Richardson&Wrench is very proud of, that's just commenced. Edward, from a finance point of view, how can you assist people looking to get into the commercial market?
Sure. Well, at Shaw Financial, we specialise in residential and commercial finance, and I take care of the commercial finance spectrum. And at the moment, as Warwick touched on, rates are at historical lows. You've got excellent yields. That arbitrage won't last forever, so it is a great time to get in and acquire commercial property. We've got access to probably over 200 lenders and in the commercial space, and we can often achieve interest rates that are a lot lower than the clients can going to the banks directly through our relationships with the banks and dealing with different departments of the commercial banks. We can also achieve higher LVRs, so above the 70% LVR, which is about the traditional LVR for commercial finance. And we also have access to other lenders outside of the banks, non-banks, financial institutions and private lenders that do stuff that the banks won't do. Yeah. So we've got all bases covered on that front, really. Yeah. And
Warwick, you talk about there's room for growth. We're at a stage where we can see this almost a boom is going to occur again in our Moreton Bay region because of the space available and the commercial zoning that we have in the master plan. For people that are on the other end of the spectrum, they're looking to sell out of commercial and maybe tidy up some identities and move on out of the sector. A good time for selling as well while this new interest is in the market?
Excellent time for selling, Scott. As I said, I think interest from buyers and consumers of commercial and industrial property as well as leasing, they're all starting to look to make a permanent place they can call home, especially in this area, and that in turn drives the sellers to put their property onto the market or to lease their large premises that have been sitting vacant for the last number of years to get interest, and that's all generating activity and hype. And the longer it goes and the more extensive it is, the more hype we'll have in the market. Once hype starts and people get all excited, well then obviously we're going to get price rises associated with that. But that could be a little bit further off yet, but it's certainly starting. The signs are there.
Yeah, and we're certainly encouraging that new growth rather than maybe selling out of the sector.
Oh, new growth is what it's all about. And I think you'll find, especially even with Moreton Bay Regional Council, the economic development area, they're starting to promote this whole region as an economic growth centre for the whole of Queensland and pretty much for the whole of Australia. And we're getting new people coming in to purchase existing properties and to look to develop new areas. And you've got the North East Business Park, you've got the, for the commercial side of it, you've got the Caboolture West going to come online in the next few years, and of course there'll be a commercial component in that. And you've got Caloundra South, which will also carry a commercial component along with the housing and the many residential premises. It's going to have some great development opportunities.
Extremely good opportunities, and not to interrupt you, I'm good at that, because I get excited about when we talk about growth and how big our region, how vast it is, and you touched on that we could almost neighbour up to South Caloundra with all that activity. Edward, another question for you. People that are already in the commercial sector and they're looking to maybe invest even further or expand their premises, Shore Financial, you offer a refinancing sector as well?
Yeah, so the refinancing is probably a very topical thing that we're doing at the moment. A lot of clients are looking to obtain some better rates. The reality today with commercial finance is you are reviewed by the banks annually. So at the end of your 12-month period, the bank can flick you or you can renegotiate your terms effectively every year. So getting out of loans is easy. Getting into loans is becoming easier. Yeah. And it is a great time to take advantage of that. You know, you can often save up to 1%, sometimes 1.5% on your current interest obligations.
Yeah. So, gentlemen, our little snapshot this morning of commercial activity in the Moreton Bay region. A little wrap up from a finance point of view. From Shore Financial, what would you say is the best thing at the moment?
I would say what I haven't seen up here for a couple of years is new developments coming on board, which seems to be happening again. So that goes back to the growth that Warwick was talking about before, and I think that's going to continue. So I think from a development project finance point of view, it's probably starting to kick up here again.
Yep.
And then from the general commercial investment space, just achieving solid yields on pretty much highly geared commercial property now, 70, 75, 80%.
Yep.
Properties make sense.
Yep.
Because you still have a good arbitrage to pay down debt. And
spot on.
Yeah.
Warwick, our commercial agent at Richardson&Wrench Caboolture, what's your wrap up? What's your best thing that you could extract out of the commercial market at the moment?
I think all the astute investors should be looking at, certainly owner-occupiers in any case, rather than investors. I guess they are investors in a way, but owner-occupiers should be looking to jump into this marketplace now because of the pricing. The pricing is at historical lows, it's starting to move, and they're going to get in now, get themselves set for the future with huge capital gain out of their property in the perceived market the way it is, but the point is they're getting in on the ground floor now, and they come back into the area, they buy and they occupy those premises where previously they've been using those premises as leasehold. They now go in there for freehold, owner-occupier, jump in. The other benefit also is for investors, and I started to mention that at the beginning, but investors are the ones that are really going to benefit because in 8.5 to 9.25, although that's starting to move down yields, which means 9.25% you can actually earn from the property as a net return. You can't beat that. That's almost double your fixed interest rate. So as an investor, not even residential comes anywhere close to the yields that you can get from investment properties alone. It doesn't have to be $2 or $3 or $4 or $5 million. It can be as low as $300,000 for a nice investment unit in the commercial sector that will keep you running with that capacity for the next 10, 15 years for capital growth and income. You just can't beat it. So now's the time, jump in. They're the two areas, private investor and as an owner-occupier.
Yeah,
never been better.
Sounds very positive. Thank you, gentlemen. Edward from Shore Financial, a new partnership with Richardson&Wrench Caboolture. Warwick Peters, our commercial agent, and myself. It's great to catch up. Commercial industry and commercial market is such a unique area of real estate, and you really do need to deal with a professional that knows what they're doing, and obviously you need to have a good relationship with a finance company so that the agent and the finance company can get you the best deal, whether it's leasing, buying. I just recommend that you need to use professionals like Warwick and Edward. So thank you, gentlemen.
Thanks, Scott.
Thank you.